always surprised when I look in the mirror that it's not she looking back at me. It's so funny because when you have kids, that is like, I always want to be like to my teenage daughter, like, you don't even know how cool I am, how young I am. And she truly doesn't because I'm just like, old mom.
Mayuri and I have known each other since we were kids. This year marks 25 years since we graduated from college. Our conversation begins with a strange mix of sadness and surprise that comes with realizing how fast that happened. When your doctor is suddenly younger than you, when you still feel like a younger version of yourself, even when the mirror disagrees. We talk about the New York we imagined in our 20s, shaped by rent and Sex in the City, and the reality of arriving in fall 2001. That October, Mayuri started at the Public Art Fund, putting contemporary art into public space in a city still processing 9/11. We also get into nonprofit leadership and burnout, the moment you realize being in charge doesn't always mean being equipped to lead, and the power of silence, longing, and writing as a practice. Off we go. Mayuri!
Oh my God, I knew you were going to start that way.
Hi, Mayuri. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm here too.
For having me. I love your podcast. I love you. This is like a chance to get to talk to you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so everyone knows what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about this thing called, I think, being a member of the class of 2001, whatever
Yeah.
that means to people.
Yeah.
And I want to jump right in terms of that milestone. So this
Yeah.
milestone of realizing that it's been 25 years since graduating from college.
Yeah.
You and I have known each other years longer than that. But like for you, did this milestone, is it something that's abstract,
Mm.
real, something in between?
Um, I think it's both of those things. I think it's just the way you put it. Like I keep like being reminded of the mark of it. Um, uh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's there,
right.
haunting me. um, yeah, I don't know. Like you go to see the doctor and they're like a child, and yeah, I just like I feel I don't know. I feel sad about it.
Tell
Yeah,
me, tell me about the
it's just
sadness.
I feel like it's been it's been longer than I thought, And I was really reflecting on like how I felt when I graduated and how I feel now. And not, I mean, I don't want to be such a bummer, but I just feel like yeah, it's flown and it's crazy.
Well, like the thing you talked about, like going to the doctor and the doctor is like younger than you, right? Or you realize people are no longer just like keeping pace at the same,
Totally.
not everybody is our age, right? People are older, people are
Yes.
younger. But
Yes.
like, do you have a suspended earlier version of yourself?
I do, and I'm always surprised when I look in the mirror that it's not she looking back at me. I really do. And it's so funny because when you have kids, that is like, I always want to be like to my teenage daughter, like, you don't even know how cool I am, how young I am. And she truly doesn't because I'm just like, old mom. But yeah, I do. I really hold on to that young person though.
How do you have like a set age? Do you know how old she is?
Yeah, 25 maybe? I don't
25?
know. What's your set age? Am I allowed to ask you
Of
questions?
course you are. This is a conversation. Well, so it's interesting because you and I have known each other, what, since we were like 10, 11,
I know, it's crazy. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when I'm talking to like you, I feel like we're just wherever we were in the 90s.
I
I don't
know.
actually
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
I feel like we've had experiences, like we've both gotten married, you have
Yeah.
kids, like your daughter is now like older than we were when we
I
first met.
know.
Like,
I know.
but I just feel like in some ways we go back to maybe not the mind space, right? Like I don't feel insecure and scared and
Yeah.
alone and
Yeah.
misunderstood in the same
Yeah.
way, but I feel a sense of like buoyancy, even
Oh,
when my body feels
25.
achy, right? Like I'm wearing
Yes.
the first pair of progressive lenses,
Yes.
like,
Yep.
but when I see you, I just feel like we could like go on our first like hiking trip in sixth
I
grade.
do think that you're like, yes. And thank you for bringing me, like, yes, I feel like your old friends and especially like your family, right? They keep you young and they remind you of that like inner youth. Yeah. I, I I feel like, I don't know, looking back at my 20s, especially since you recalled like graduation, I just feel like for me, like that had everything to do with New York City at that time. And thinking about that makes me not sad, like maybe wistful or like I definitely romanticize that part of my life, like just post graduation, being in New York, um, you know, just like starting out in the world. It felt like very cinematic. Um,
Because
yeah, go
like,
ahead.
but for you, I mean, and people know I like pop culture and hopefully you'll go with me. Like, we were in college when Rent came out,
God,
right?
I'm so glad you brought up Ren. Yeah.
But then I think by the time we were in our mid 20s, Sex and the City had come out. So like
Yeah, yeah,
two New York
yeah,
stories.
yeah, totally.
Which one was yours like? I mean,
Oh
or
my
was it
gosh. Well, I feel like I can't talk about Rent without like crying because I saw it when I was 17. It's like imprinted in my mind as like New York. It was like dazzling to me and the music and I became obsessed with it and we were obsessed with it together, which is like so fun for me to think about. Um I think I was definitely more Rent leaning than Sex in the City. I also have an older sister who to me was very Sex in the City. Like that was her vibe, like, designer clothes, like fun neighborhoods. And I do feel like I kind of leaned more like, artsy and not necessarily like Lower East Side, but yeah, like I loved seeing shows at that time. I loved like yeah, like I feel like that was more my energy. But you're right to associate the New York of like culture with like our expectations of, and of course when the fall of our graduation was 9/11. And so that's like a totally different New York City. And
where were you that fall?
I had moved back in with my parents. I was looking for a job. And again, New York City was like, where my friends were. Like you were there. My sister was there. My brother was like in college there. So I just knew that that's where I was going to end up. That was like the headlight or whatever the lighthouse light. But I was temping and living with my parents and watching it on TV. But I will say that the job that I got just like a few months, I think I started in October of 2001, also had everything to do with New York and everything to do with 9/11 in my mind because I worked for this amazing nonprofit called the Public Art Fund, which is still around, thankfully. And we basically presented contemporary art in in the public realm in New York City. And that could mean like a giant sculpture in Rockefeller Center, or that could mean like in a storefront in Brooklyn. Like it was just meant to be public. And it to me was like I really thought about this. I feel like that job was like healing from 9/11 because the towers came down and we were putting art up and it was meant to like engage with people. And I really learned New York through, I mean, like Rent and Sex and the City and Friends or whatever aside, like Public Art Fund was like it was like this introduction to this like world of New York. um yeah, it was amazing and I will always think about that job as like this like orientation,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, because I mean, October, you're
Hmm.
literally going into a city
Hmm.
that is totally changed
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
right? Where were some of the public artworks? Like,
Oh my
were they
gosh,
all around the
so
city
many.
in Manhattan? Like, what
They
was?
were all over. They do such a good job of spreading it throughout all the boroughs. The big ones that were like always on the Today Show and the ones that we got like the most kind of like flashy press about were in Central Park and in Rockefeller Center, Madison Square Park. This was all before those places had their own like departments that now are in charge of doing their Their art. And their big thing, I know this sounds like a commercial for the public art fund, but their big thing was like, it's not public art, it's art that, like people paid to see these pieces in museums, and they're just making it like, they're like breaking down those walls. I really saw it that way. Um, yeah, and because we were like such a small, there were like seven of us when I started. I was the one who answered the phones, so I would hear like people's reactions, and they were like wild. Like people take their city really personally, and like their walk to work really personally. I mean, and my our our president was like, don't shy away from that. Like, everything that they say matters, everything they think matters. They're like engaging with it. And I loved that. That's like where everything that I now do stems from, like that reaction to what we put up. And again, I feel like I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I feel like that reaction was very much also a reaction to 9/11, because like this was their city, and, like
Beauty
their
creates
space.
hope and
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about a reaction. I mean, I was in law school
I know. I remember. Yeah.
downtown, and I think for me, one of the things I always assumed, right? Like you and I, we grew up in Essex County, so New York wasn't like this far away thing. It was a
Yeah.
place we could go. I think I just always defaulted to I'm going to be a lawyer in New York. I'm going to live in like maybe in like a suburb, and I'm just going to go to work every day. And but for 9/11, I think that would have
Totally.
happened.
I
Yeah.
know. I remember like, oh, you were so close to it. Being down there, and yeah, it's crazy what you think. Like, really think of that picture of yourself, like when you graduated, and you're like, oh, this is what it's gonna be like. It's so like unrealistic.
Well, I want to get into that because there's we've already talked about so many different cultural influences, moments
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened, but like, what did you think adulthood was going to be about?
I'm gonna be real with you. Like, and again, I have an older sister, so like I kind of had a glimpse of what adulthood, but she's only 2 years older. But it really for me was around like, what am I gonna be wearing at this time? What's gonna be around me? Like, right, like art wise. I didn't think of it. It was like a game of MASH. It might have well have just been so right abstract, to use that word that you used. Like, I don't think it was so fuzzy, but then there were like these details that were really strong. Like I knew I'd have like a statement necklace on at all times.
Oh, what kind of statement would you be making?
I mean, just like that I was like artistic or of the arts, and like love the arts and wanted to portray that. Um, yeah, I thought that it would be like museum filled or museum centric, which it has been, which has been great. But again, that, you know, field looks so different now. And I couldn't have anticipated any of that. Like, you know, yeah, I think I always knew that there were going to be young people around. I'm not talking about the young people that are related to me, but like in the work. I thought, I definitely was like leaning towards teaching. Um, yeah, it was so vague though. That 25-year like projection from '01. Yeah,
Why do you think? I mean, it's not as if we were living in a land without without adults in front of us, right? Like you mentioned your
yeah,
sister, like
totally.
we all had parents, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything in those experiences where you were like, not that, that,
That's such a good
this?
question. Yeah, I think I was like, I don't want like this big corporate. I knew that that was not me. Um, and I don't know where that came from. I think it's just because like I had done a lot of internships in college that felt more my speed, like kind of like ground level, no fancy lobby. Again, for me, it's always about like the space.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I just knew that it was going to feel like more low key and more hands on, I think.
So you mentioned your sister because you guys are 2 years apart. Like
Yeah.
it sounds like her. her adulthood mode and your
Yeah.
adulthood mode were like
Totally
going in
different.
different
Yeah.
directions. Like,
Yeah.
did you two ever talk about that, or was that ever like an
No, and I know that you are the eldest, so I don't know if you can appreciate like the way that your sisters probably look up to you and also want to do something totally different from you because you're so good at what you do. Um, but that's how I felt. I mean, I was like, this is not my lane. Like, we like listen to different music, we dress differently, we had really different types of friends. So I sort of always knew, I don't know, maybe she made that easy for me because she picked something that was so different. And I was like, that's just not like I had no interest in in uh in law or like or just like not even law, just like that world of like corporate, um you know for profit, I should say, maybe.
Mhm. No, that makes sense. Um, so it sounds like you did go and you pursued the arts,
Yeah.
like, and we think about our careers. I mean, this 25-year span, a lot of us have been building toward or contributing to something, right? In terms of like outside of ourselves in a career. Was there ever a moment in your career where either burnout or boredom taught you something that ambition didn't?
um that's a really good question. I think yes. I think anyone that you interview in the nonprofit world is going to say yes. And I don't know if it's boredom. I think burnout is like the bigger that really resonates with me. And I think that what ambition didn't let me know about, is that there are, I just think, again, going back to like the baby doctors, I think that not everyone that is in charge is like a sane person.
Oh.
Or like they're not always in charge. And I wish that I had known that. Like, or that just because you are in charge of a nonprofit or that you're like maybe that you founded a nonprofit doesn't make you I don't want to say like a good person, but like yeah, and I can say that about the arts too. I feel like I think there was this naivete in on my part. I'm just talking about myself. That like, you'd be just like me, like you'd want the same things that I'd want, you'd find the same things funny. Um and then, come to find out that, a lot of the people that run a lot of these things or care about these things, they're still like they're still people, and they're still there, there's like an ego involved, and I don't know. I think I was naive to think that, yeah, that the folks in charge would be like in charge. I don't know if that makes sense, Ari. You can edit that whole thing
No,
out.
I'm not going to edit that because it totally, even if it didn't make sense, it's what you're feeling. And I think this idea of who's in charge and like
Yes,
what
totally.
qualifies us to be in charge,
Yes,
right? Like I now
yes,
go into rooms and I'm not the youngest person anymore. And I'm
yeah,
looking around like, oh,
yes, yeah. I
people are
know.
expecting me to be the person in
Yeah,
charge.
yeah. And I think I always had someone in charge, and I always respected that person. I was always like, you remember me in middle school. So I feel like when you get to a place where, I mean, they talk about this thing in the nonprofit world. It's called, I think it's called founders burnout, or maybe that. Anyway, just like this idea that, I also think this has to do with timing too, Ara. Like when we went out into the world, I feel like it was like the height of a lot of these nonprofits that were founded in the 70s were like, hitting their stride. It was like they were hitting like I feel like, and especially in New York, it was like kind of a friendlier time with Bloomberg, for nonprofits. And I think like, um, I think working, and I've worked for a lot of different nonprofits, and I think, again, the naivete that like this is good work, you must be a good person, and that could bar you, in my mind, from being like a terrible boss or just like someone who really can't hold meetings or talk to young people or talk to women, like that. I was not expecting in the art world, and yeah, it was stupid of me because it's like any other world.
But like, I don't, I mean, we didn't have a model, really. I mean, that you go from like they're a good teacher, but you don't really know about their lives unless you're
Yeah.
like me and
Yeah.
pseudo stalker. Or you go home and your parents, like my parents brought work and brought me into work, but I wasn't
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
day observing them, like what's a good manager versus like what's a
I
good
know.
mom or what's a good dad.
Yeah.
You go to college, you have professors, maybe
I
you'll do
know. That's
an
it.
internship or,
Totally.
but like I think the world of work, to your point, this idea of managers aren't necessarily born, like they're made.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
this shaping that has to happen. And all of us sort of start at zero at this age when we're supposed to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
of age and able to do it. And so I think that good person, bad manager is often experienced. And
I don't know why, but if you talk to people in the nonprofit world, there's a high rate of people who are bad managers, like, or just bad at people. Um, yeah, I don't know the like corresponding element there, but um, yeah, it's real. And I
how
wasn't
did that
expecting.
affect your trajectory?
Oh my gosh, in major ways. Just because, right, as you get old, as I got older, I think the people that you're around matter so much more than like the statement necklace or the particular museum you happen to work for. And it's a lot to work with someone who's, I don't want to say the word crazy, but like, it takes a toll and you're like, is this what I thought it was going to be? Um, is it worth continuing this? So there have been just like movements and shifts, which I also really appreciate in our generation. Like, my parents had the same job for, 40 years. And uh, I thought, I don't know if I ever thought that, but I wasn't expecting to move around so much. That's been great actually. Cause I never had to put up with um, anything that wasn't too uncomfortable for longer than I wanted. Um, yeah.
Well, I think that's good. I'm curious, are there things, this idea of what I want to do versus what I can do?
Yeah.
And like, are there things that you're good at that you are like, you know what, I'm good at it, but I'm not organizing my life, my career around it?
Yeah. I mean, you mean like, I don't know what you mean. Say more. Like, you mean like professionally?
Yeah, or like me, like I'm really, I don't know, we'll make something up. I'm really good at details, but like I don't want to be
I see.
responsible for the details if I'm on a team for the rest of my life. Like I want other people who are good at details so I can go off and try to have something else that I'm adding.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really good with people. Um, I feel like I'm like good in lots of different people situations. And I think that's just from being like the child of immigrants because I do feel like I had to translate a lot in a way. I mean, my parents speak English, but just like translate in the larger sense of like, Dad, this is what they mean. This is what this means. Um, and I don't, yeah, I feel like, um, I, yeah, sorry, Ara.
No.
Um, I do think that I'm good with people and maybe I don't need, I just feel like my work right now, and you're finding me at this moment where like, right, well, we've had all these federal cuts and it's a hard time to be in the arts right now. I think that those people skills are like shelved for now because all I'm doing is like looking for money, so I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it does. I mean, I think you've raised a really good point. Like, we don't always have the privilege of, even at this sort of middle stage of life,
Yeah.
going toward the thing that we might think we're really great at because organizations, our families, like
Yeah.
they need things from us.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
don't always get to say, well, I'd rather go do that because actually survival is depending on me
No. In
doing
fact,
this.
I think to go back to like one of your older questions, I think and I don't want to like uh, badger my younger self, but I think I was like a little elitist. I think my thinking about what work, just in the way you said, like I could not have fathomed that we would be in a state of where like there were no federal dollars for the arts or arts enrichment. So that has been like, yeah, a total shock, and it has changed my work and my optimism. And yeah, it looks different from 25 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You also talked about translation, and I'm curious about, and I mean, this thing about being fortunate enough to have our parents with us, as
Yeah.
they're aging and we're aging. Has your translation work changed with them as you've gotten older and they have?
Yeah, but it's funny because I feel like sometimes they even know more than I do. So I'm going to answer this in like a very literal sense because I do remember like my dad, who like loves the New York Times, he would have us read it to him, not because he couldn't read it, but because he thought it would like help our vocabulary. And he really just like, and if we didn't know a word in the paper, he'd be like, I don't understand why you don't know that word. Like, you speak English, like
Like
as
you
if I was
said,
meant to know every single word. Okay, so that's like a literal answer, but yeah, I'm like, this is why this is. Uh, I'm trying to think of like a good example. Sometimes we'll be watching a movie, or like we'll have seen the same movie, me and my parents, and they'll be confused about some subtle thing. Because I realized that the way that they were raised, it was like very literal. um, so some kind of abstract things, I think, I do have to explain to them. But when like you are observing things from a different perspective, it really gives you like a love of those things. So yeah, yeah.
so you love reading the New York Times out loud now?
Oh
You
my
make your
god,
kids read it out loud?
he no, I should. No, we would have to read it, and then sometimes we'd have to like write it to practice our handwriting. I mean, yeah, I do think like this is totally off tangent, but I think obsessing over something like language is like so good for you. It's like it's good.
Well, you allowed me to obsess over language in real time for years, so I appreciate you
You're
enriching
still
me.
so good at it,
Well,
Ara. Can you imagine? I just so your listeners know, um, Ara and I would see each other at school and then go home and talk to each other on the phone. The phone had a cord, and occasionally Ara would read me her short stories, and I still remember the feeling of just like like the phone would be like on my shoulder, and I'd be like, or I don't even know if I would speak, but you would read me these short stories, and I remember their names, and I remember the way you would read, and yeah.
it's a little, I mean, that's like the next topic I wanted to talk about, which is attention spans, right?
Mhm.
Because I think,
Mhm.
well, I'm curious. You just mentioned a very concrete moment where we would go from school to home and be
Yeah,
connected by this literal cord.
it's
And
crazy.
sometimes we didn't have call waiting. Sometimes you'd get a busy signal. Sometimes you'd call and somebody's parent would say, "She's not awake yet,
Oh my
Ara. Can
gosh.
you
Yeah.
call back later?" Um, like we weren't though, even though we were connected in a very local way to each other, like the broader world was not, I mean, besides like the media coming in, right? Like three channels,
Oh my
maybe a
gosh.
cable. But like, do you feel like that shaped you in terms of not coming of age in an era of like
Yes.
constant?
I'm so grateful for that. I'm sure everyone that you interview is going to tell you that they're grateful for that. Aren't you grateful for that?
I don't even know the alternative,
I
to be
know.
honest.
I do actually because I
Oh,
have kids. I
yeah.
mean,
What's that like?
it's attention span is so connected to so many things and is so important. And I feel like it really does like allow me to be able to like I don't have like big book fear. I don't have like I don't there's so many things that I'm able to do. I can sit in a doctor's office and like wait, and it's okay, and I like it's I don't know. I feel like I'm worried about that. Yeah. Um I mean, yeah, even just like right, you talked about those TV shows. I mean, we would have to wait a week to see the next episode. We couldn't just like binge it. Like It's
And
crazy.
remember how, well, I used to get very angry on like Thanksgiving. They'd do a rerun. I'd be like, oh, why is there a rerun tonight?
No, so much was our like heart tied to this thing that we would be waiting, and that is like longing is so important. Um, yeah, it's crazy. And when you have kids, you have to like inure that in them without these external helpers, you know?
Yeah. You sort of like, because you have kids, you work with a variety of like people in different generations. Like,
Yeah.
how do you find different generations like coping with this idea of constant connectivity? Maybe some are just, it just is, and some are like totally.
I feel like it's less a generational thing because, again, going back to my parents, like my mom is like something has to be blaring at all times, like her WhatsApp or the TV, and but she's very different from my dad, who like is very patient with like time and like he's again okay, just like sitting with nothing to do or like waiting on something or so I don't know if it's a generational thing. Um, I don't know what it comes from. I don't know. Do you have theories?
I think you're right. It's probably not a generational thing. And I'm sort of remembering, like, even my sister, one of my sisters, like, she always had like something on. And
Yeah,
I was always like, you can't have anything on because you have to concentrate.
me too. Me too. Yeah,
And so I agree with you. I also find with myself, I have to like remind, like, the doctor's office is a great example of, no, read the like 3-month-old issue of like People.
totally.
You don't need to
Yeah.
have your phone. Like,
Yes. Yes. I'm
yeah,
like that too. I just don't. I also, because this house and my job are like constant, you
yeah.
know, I love like a quiet moment. I love like driving somewhere, just having nothing on. um,
You going out for lots of drives? You're like,
yeah,
see you guys.
just like totally silence is like my favorite thing.
Are there other, I mean, like, are there other boundaries that you've invented for yourself?
I should make more. That should be like a goal of mine. I don't. Something that I keep hearing on podcasts, people saying is just like really good, like a really good sleep routine, where it's just like this protected time of like getting yourself ready for bed. I think I heard Michelle Obama talk about it, like just like the temperature and like I love that as in theory.
Very in practice, not
um,
so much.
I mean, there's so many things that have to happen once the kids are in bed or whatever. It's just like, but yeah, I think attention span. You're right. It's like winnowing, you know.
Yeah. Um, I hope we're in a very long stage of what we call middle age. I hope we're
Yeah,
so privileged to
me
be
too.
around a long time.
Me
But
too.
like, has something surprised you about this stage of life?
You mean besides like the bodily stuff?
I mean,
um, well, I don't. This is again such a bummer for your listeners, but it's also just because like, yeah, I do. I'm surprised at how bitter I am, but I think that's probably just because of like the world around me. That surprises me.
because of what you've said before, like you are an optimistic
Yes,
person.
yes, yes. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's been a surprise. Sometimes I hear myself and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I feel that way, but I do. And yeah, it's
Do you feel like you have more access to that? Like, in some ways, have you been protecting yourself from
maybe,
the version of you that can actually express those feelings?
maybe, and maybe that's a good thing. Um, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Maybe.
I mean, for me, like, you were joking, like the bodily stuff, the idea that our bodies are now fragile,
Yeah.
like, going
Surprises
into
you.
PT or,
Yeah.
like can't do what you used to do. I think because you and I also knew each other at a very, not just college, but like middle school, that's
Yeah,
another time of life, adolescence, that there is
I
so
know.
much
Talk about buoyancy. Yeah.
like it or not, like there's so much attention being placed on this is your body, this is
Mm.
how it's changing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
there's like so much attention. And I almost feel like
Oh my
I know
God.
more people are now
Really?
talking about menopause and all that, but it wasn't like next up, middle age is going to hit you and it's going to hit you hard.
I want like a class on it. Totally. The bodily stuff, yes. And also the way that like the world reacts to you is also different. And I'm feeling that. Like I
Are you a
don't know.
man now? People call you Ms.
Kind of, or just like I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I notice a difference in the way that uh and that right as a woman, like you feel that when as you get older, and uh, I thought that would come later. Yeah.
Later was supposed to be like, when you're like 75.
I know, like I like remember watching Friends and being like, I will never be that age. Like they're so old, or like they're so. It was like this other world.
Or the Golden Girls.
Totally.
I think they were younger than we are
I
now.
think that's right. That's crazy.
I do.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But this idea, like adulthood, Mad Men is now, re-streaming. I have not embarked on starting it again, but like
I know you
that
loved it.
version of adult, like I look
Yeah.
at, I'm
Yeah.
commuting and like we're wearing sneakers, we got
Oh my
backpacks,
God,
like,
we'll never be as old as they were in Mad Men. Yeah. I,
no, never. So of course we're shocked
I
when our
know.
eyes are failing and our backs are like, of course.
Yeah. You really do though, Ara. When I talk to you, when I look at you, like you really are like a time machine. Like I'm just like transported to. I'm just like, of course, we're like 15.
Of course. Time machines. Do you I'm curious, what transports you besides old friends?
Oh my gosh. I was thinking of you the other day in Trader Joe's because, as many of your listeners might know, when you go to Trader Joe's, all they do is play like 80s and 90s music, and they were playing Grooves in the Heart. And I'm like, oh my God, this song reminds me of Ara. Like, how sometimes you hear a song and you're like, I really was transported. Like, music does that for me almost every time. I mean, I could listen to Rent and be like, right, in my 20s, or like, yeah.
You're a writer. I don't know if you've ever tried this. I actually, when I was writing How to Date a Black Girl, I realized I was now farther along in years than my characters
Yeah.
were supposed to be. I actually made a playlist
Yeah.
for each of my main
Funny.
characters for like
Yes.
music from my 20s, so I could try to.
Put yourself, yes, totally.
You
It has to
do?
be, for me, we're like the same. I have to be like immersed. And then it's funny because that I have a playlist for, right, not per character but per story, and I can't mix, like,
Mm.
because it is, you're right. It's like something about, I think that we just want to be like in surround sound of like that mindset. I think that really helps me when I'm writing or creating. Yeah.
Speaking of creating, we're both works of art in progress. Is there
Yeah, I
anything
love that.
in you that feels unfinished, but it doesn't scare you that it's not?
I mean, like the writing is like, for me, just like it's not. I feel like it's just like this endless road, and that's okay. I really love like learning about it, and I think it's good that I don't see it as like having an endpoint. I think I might have mentioned this when we saw each other in person. Like, it's good for me to just think of it as like a practice. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does.
Um, yeah, it's been fun. Again, that for me has also been like. What I mentioned earlier about just having like silence. I think writing for me is like this like beautiful silence of like everything else, work, kids. Yeah.
When did writing start for you?
Um, like in earnest during the pandemic, I took a Zoom course from Catapult, which I think now is defunct, which is so sad. But it was like a 12-week at night virtual series. And it was awesome. And again, I just signed up for it because, like, I mean, like the pandemic, we have three small kids. There was kindergarten in the dining room. Like, baby was a baby. So that 12-week course was like just zoning everything out, but I was also able to be indoors, obviously. So that's where it really started. And then I just became kind of obsessed with like learning about it and the craft of it. I've always been like a big reader and studied English in college, but that at that moment I was like, oh, I really want to try this.
And you're
Yeah.
trying it. You're doing it.
Oh, well.
You're doing it. All right. So, like, what comes next? Like, what do you want the next chapter to be about?
Oh, Ara. I mean, yeah, I love that question. I feel like I really do still feel like that kid who like would write in my journal and then like draw on the bottom. So for me, it's always this is like the most simple answer, but I do just want like words and art. Like and that's what I always wanted. Like, like even in college it was like major in English, minor in art. And even now it's like even though the art has become like less a piece of it, I think I always want art and I always want words. So
What about a statement necklace? Is that still going to be part of the?
yeah, I think so. I mean, it has to be, right?
Of course. Of course. You mentioned beating up a little bit on your younger self. So let's think about that. Like,
Yeah.
if you were the commencement speaker, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh my gosh, Ara. If I was a commencement speaker, I would call you and have you help me write it. I don't know. I guess I would try to speak to like what I mentioned earlier, just like, well, I don't know if someone would say that in a graduation, just like don't trust everyone or um I think I would say like um don't don't you know don't be scared to like not do what everyone else is doing. I mean, I know it's just like such a basic thing to say, but um
But how many people were saying that to you at that time?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do feel like again, as just from being a younger sister, like you sort of just assume, right? There's things that you're not going to do, but then there's things that like you just have to do because like that's what. So I don't know. I feel like if I had if someone had said like it doesn't have to be New York City or although I'm so glad I don't regret any of that. I just mean like it's such a huge world and I don't know. I think I would have said something about like not limiting yourself by just like a weird vision, you know?
Hmm. Totally. I would listen to that commencement speech.
Oh my God, Ira.
All right.
There's a reason that I wasn't picked to do that.
Well, this is gonna be a fun part. We're gonna do lightning round.
Okay.
I've updated the lightning round
Oh
specially.
God, because I practiced based on the other questions. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Um,
ready.
I'm calling this our shared operating system. Okay. So I'm
Okay.
going to give you like two choices.
Oh, I
And
like that. Okay.
you're welcome to add a third. This
Okay.
is this is open. Okay, we're going to start in the category of pop culture.
Okay.
Okay. MTV's The Real World or VH1's Behind the Music.
Oh my gosh, behind the music. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I love the backstory. Yeah, this is good.
All right. All right. Appointment TV or binge culture.
Appointment TV. Yeah. What would you say to that?
Depends on the show.
Yeah. No, I don't. You know what's funny? Sorry, this is a total. I know this is a
Oh,
lightning round.
this is good.
I really do love waiting for things. I think it's okay. Like I don't need to do it right away. I feel like that changes the way those shows are made too. Like
No. You know what
and
I
even
don't like though?
yeah.
I don't like there's a lot more to keep track of. It's like and these staggered
Okay.
releases. I didn't mind taking the summer off from like
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell. Maybe I
Yeah.
did. But like it's like years passing and I'm like, "Wait, what
Yeah, I
was I
don't love
watching?
that.
What was happening?"
I know, but then they catch you up. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because we watch the same shows. Yeah, I don't know, but binging it just feels like I don't want it to feel like a movie. I want TV to feel like TV and movie to feel like a movie.
I feel that.
That's
Okay.
my answer. Yeah.
All right. That was a pretty hot take, Mayuri. like that.
I'm
All
dreaming
right.
about, yeah, being
Cassette
asked.
mixtape or Spotify playlist?
Oh my gosh, Ara, cassette mixtape if you make it. Like
What was
your
special about my mixtapes?
oh
Come
my
on.
gosh, Ara, everything, they were so eclectic. I feel like you introduced me to a lot of music. I like that was very hip at the time. Um, yeah, I Grooves in the Heart is like an example, but also like the Cranberries. There's like songs that I listen to that I'm like, I know this song because of Ara. The Sweater. What band is that?
Oh my gosh. What was her name? It was like,
I
oh
gotta
my
look this up.
God.
Hold on.
Meryl, no.
The
Was it
Sweater song, which again, I
Meryl? Oh
think
my gosh. Meryl Carell or no? Now you have to look it. Can you please look it up? I'm gonna lose my mind.
oh no, is this no? It says Weezer, but that's not right.
No, it's not Weezer. It's like
You're
Monday,
gonna lose your
wear
mind.
the
You
sweater
wear the sweater to
to
school.
school. Be calm, look cute.
Oh my god, you remember it. No, Weezer is the only thing that's coming.
Oh no. Okay. I will we'll look it up offline. I haven't thought about that song though in ages, and the second you said it, there it
No,
was.
well, it reminds me of you, and I think
Meryl
also a good
Cadell?
mixtape, like it's just like about friendship. It's like you would sometimes put the same song on many mixtapes, and that was like a little message to me, or like, you'd write on the insert. Like kids don't have that on their spot. Can you like take notes on a no? Oh my gosh, mixtape all the way. Like you could be so brave on a mixtape.
And like remember different mixtapes were like some were like very graphic. Like I think Maxell was it Maxell who had the
I
like
can see
almost
this
like
in my mind.
it like looked like a swatch watch almost. It was like
Yes.
colored
Oh my
shapes
gosh.
on the clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could like
Yeah.
slip a note in there.
It was
Also like the way
portable.
you open it and the way you close it. I don't mean like this way. I mean like the opening song has to like, be a bop, and then the last one has to like leave you. It's like a short story, Ara.
And then you had A side, B like
Oh my god,
you had to
yes.
and you had to time it. Do you remember having to actually physically
Oh my
make
gosh.
a
The
mixtape?
two to get the oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you hit record
Yeah. And staying up to get the song on the
on the
radio
radio.
and have the
Cut out the DJ's voice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the best.
Okay. I'm gonna send you a mixtape. I'm gonna have to learn how to make one. Okay, so we're gonna move out of pop culture. That was very
Okay.
good, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, good. Oh,
We're
good.
moving into free time.
Okay.
Okay. Oregon Trail or Carmen San Diego.
Ugh, Carmen Sandiego. I mean, that outfit again for me. It's just like the
She's making the
visuals.
statement with that fedora.
Yeah. Go
Now,
for
do you
it.
remember playing the computer games?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
which one was it World, USA, Time?
I no. Oh, was there a Thai version?
There was a time
What?
version.
No, I think I played World, right? Because it was like the map. Yeah, the globe.
Yep. World was hard. USA, I was like stuck in USA.
That's so funny. We also used to play like blackjack on the computer. I know. I know.
And we're gonna leave it there. Um, reading Rainbow or Saturday morning cartoons.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, visual. Like I love I like a voiceover with a page turning, and LeVar Burton. Oh my God, he's like a national treasure.
Okay. Library or record store?
Library. Again, I don't have like the very cool music genius that you have. I library all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to move into technology.
Okay.
Game Boy or Etch a Sketch?
Oh, I just sketch.
Did you ever make anything on an Etch a Sketch?
Yeah,
Like, do you
yeah,
actually make
totally.
like anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always like, right, things with hard corners or, but yeah, I love an etch a sketch. A light bright, even better.
Ooh. Did you have an animator?
No.
So that was like the Etch a Sketch, and then they made one with pixels, and you could like have an animation.
I think I remember the commercial for this. No, I would have loved that. I really leaned into like all
Crafts,
that art making stuff. Yeah, when I was a kid. Love that
light
stuff.
bright. Shrinky Dinks?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to move into a BlackBerry or pager.
Oh my gosh, neither. I never had a job where I needed either of those. Yeah, I don't even know how one of those works.
I love that for you. Um, DOS or Mac OS?
Um, I guess I guess Mac because right, our family's first computer was like an Apple II GS, and yeah,
So my
I'm
mom,
really not techie though, Ara.
no, my mom, it's funny. She always teased me. She's like, she wasn't teasing it. She's serious. Like, you need to learn DOS. That's going to be the language of the
Oh
future.
my god, how funny! Isn't
And
that funny?
I tease her now. I'm like, so
Yeah, where's
DOS, DOS.
Oh my god. I also think it's funny when parents are like, "This is going to be the future." Like, what do we know? We don't know anything.
But we believed that they actually knew something that we didn't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did anyway.
yeah.
You mentioned Groove is in the Heart. You know who got me onto that song?
Leslie? No.
Roger.
Oh my god, of course. Your dad. That's what your dad does. He shines a light on artists. Like that's yeah.
Arts High, Mr.
And you did that for
70.
me. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay. Our last category,
Okay.
signals.
Okay.
So AIM away message or LinkedIn headline.
Are those three different things?
Do you remember AOL? And you
Yeah.
no, okay.
No. I
No.
guess an away message. Is that like really outdated? Yeah, I don't I again, I'm like not at all techie. I hate LinkedIn. I'm sorry.
It's, don't apologize.
Language on LinkedIn that's like so like smarmy, and I just feel like it's like another world.
When have you been on it? Like recently or in another decade?
No, I've been on it recently. Yeah, and people are just like wanted to shout out. I don't. It just sounds so like corporate, and
I
like I know that that's what it's for.
no, I'm gonna deviate. This is class of 2001. We do what we want. We say what we mean. I have a personal gripe right now with LinkedIn, and that
Tell
I feel
me.
like all of a sudden people have gotten AI religion and are
Oh
using
God.
it to be like the LinkedIn guru. All of a sudden, people who had nothing to say all this time are like, and da, 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 da. And I'm like,
Really?
are you
Oh,
really thinking those thoughts? Because that doesn't
yeah,
sound like you. I'm not saying
yeah.
I'm not against AI
Yeah,
assisted. I'm not, just like
yeah.
you have a editor. Like I'm not against
But when you
what
can
it's
tell
doing.
that it's not someone's voice, totally right.
Right.
It's so good that you can tell that though, Ara. Don't you think it's good that you have a radar for that? Because imagine a world where we don't have a radar for that anymore. Like that scares me.
It's a new Turing test, right? It's like, but
Yeah,
even then, it's like, do you care?
I do. I deeply care. I do.
Okay.
Because I feel that that will trickle into everything.
Yeah. All right. We'll go back to the lightning round. Thank you for thank you for letting me do that mini rant. Um, private ambition or public metrics?
Private ambition. Yeah.
Pass a note or leave a message?
Such a good one, Ara. How'd you come up with these? Oh, pass a note. Like just the danger element, like, if a teacher sees you, or I don't know, if you put it in the wrong locker or whatever.
The
Yeah.
wrong locker.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Do you okay, I'm not gonna mention a name, but the prior guest and you may not remember this, but
Oh my God.
we were in study hall and I was playing, you remember you could like make paper footballs?
Yes, yes.
And I was playing paper football with somebody who will go unnamed, and I kept flicking it back, thinking like I'm winning. And then finally they're like, open it.
Oh my God.
And it said, will you go out with
Oh my
me?
God. This is the best story. I love it. Yes. I have a will you go out with me note. Like that. There's so much like heart went into the person writing that. And I used to put so much heart into my notes. I mean, they'd be like multicolored, and
Oh yeah.
there was a quiz involved. Like, yeah,
Maybe a
it's
mash
love.
read out. You had very good handwriting. Mine was
I
always like small and
love
crabby.
your handwriting. Your handwriting is so you.
That brings me to the end of the lightning round, Mayuri.
Oh my gosh, how did I do? Give me a grade.
Do, 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 do,
Love
do,
it. Oh
do.
my God.
No, you aced it. 100%. 100%. In the spirit of this, is there anything I didn't ask you or that we didn't talk about that you're like, Ara, how could we
Yeah.
not?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I want to interview you, but we should just talk
Okay.
on the phone or whatever.
Okay. All right. Is there a question you didn't ask me that you want to ask me just to like
I
close it?
do. I've always wondered because, well, so because I grew up with like a creative person in my house. I'm just wondering if you growing like not growing up, but now you are sharing an abode with a creative person who's creative for a living.
Yeah.
Like, how does that show up in your life beyond you? I know you're creating podcasts and writing, but do you feel like a real difference from living with an artist?
Well, so maybe I can answer in the spirit of this season's theme. In college, I was like you, I was an art history and visual arts major. And there was that fork of like, are you gonna go be a professional artist,
Yeah,
Ara? Or like what
yeah,
else are you gonna do? And
yeah.
I chose law school, but like the reason I chose law school was I had this like fear of having to stand on my own creativity. And for me at the time, like
Hmm.
financial independence felt like an either or. It didn't feel
Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
And so meeting Hillary, someone who is very much like
yeah.
every day has to wake up and like go
Create.
to work, right? Like get it done.
Yeah,
There's nothing romantic. It's not like she's just waiting around for inspiration. Like
yeah. It's
she's
like her
very
9 to 5. Yeah,
it's her 9 to
right.
yeah, it's never but I think it has humbled me in terms of more of the rigor side of creativity, right? Like that
Yeah,
it's like any other thing, right? You have
yeah,
the 10,000 hours. You have to really
yeah.
commit
Totally.
to the craft.
It's not like a hobby. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And so I think maybe what Hillary has taught me though is that student thinking she had to like choose or that there was like a fork in the road, it's been me the whole time, right? Like it's been sort of part of me. And so
yes.
finding the ways to express that has been the work. It's not about when
Yeah,
I get older and I retire, I'll have time to be a Sunday painter. It's like
yeah.
do the thing, express it, find the outlets, find the people,
I
and
know. Yeah.
it's ongoing though, ongoing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
That's
but
wise though.
it's hard to live small when she's every day, out there.
What a gift. But yeah, again, like you said, it's not romantic. It's not like this. Like in the movies, right? When they live with artists, it's like
Right. And it's not like and it's not usually
wild.
it's not in either extreme. It's not throwing things and like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh. Another podcast topic for you is just like the portrayal of artists like in the media. It's just like not that's just not yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so
Yeah,
honest
it's
and
so good to talk
reflective
to
and
you.
for joining me
Oh my
in
gosh,
this
this was
safe
so
space.
fun, Ara. This was so fun.
Awesome. All right, next time. Well, that's all for this episode of I'm Here Too. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. Please remember to subscribe so that you don't miss the next conversation. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.